Meghan Markle's failed plan to bag a billionaire as her marriage to Prince Harry becomes more unhappy by the day.
Meghan Markle is truly one of the most dangerous public figures on the world stage at the moment. She needs to be stopped.
February 4th, 2026, Dubai International Airport. Meghan Markle stepped off her private jet expecting pure luxury, red carpets, flashing cameras, and the royal-style welcome she still believes she deserves. She came ready for a power week. Hush-hush meetings with luxury brand execs, quiet sit-downs with media bosses, and even a private dinner with big-money investors from the golf world. Everything was set perfectly around her Grand March campaign launch. But things took a shocking turn fast. Just minutes after landing, everything flipped. Border officers stopped her on the spot, escorted her to a private interview room, and questioned her behind closed doors. No shouting, no arrests. Yet the outcome was brutal. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, was denied entry to the United Arab Emirates. That's right, denied, refused, and sent right back on the same plane she came in on. Now here's the part that left everyone's jaws on the floor. Instead of reaching out to the US Embassy, her own country's lifeline, Meghan went straight to the British royal family. She reportedly asked for diplomatic support, claiming her connection as Prince Harry's wife and as the mother of 2 royal children. And just think about that for a second. The same woman who publicly called out the royals for being cold, cruel, and racist, the same one who spilled every secret she could find, was suddenly begging for their help. But the answer she got? It wasn't just a polite rejection. It was a royal slam. What came next wasn't just a no. It was a statement so powerful it sent shockwaves around the world. February 5th, 2026, Buckingham Palace erupted in headlines. One icy statement, just 17 words long, sent shockwaves across the globe. And this time, it didn't come from some palace insider or vague royal leak. No. It came straight, officially, and mercilessly from Prince William himself. His words hit like royal thunder. The British royal family will not provide diplomatic sponsorship for Meghan Markle. She no longer represents the crown in any form, nor is she authorized to invoke our name for private endeavors. Let that sink in. This wasn't a polite, we'll review it, or a quiet, we wish her well. No, this was a public execution of Meghan's royal ties, carried out by the future King of England himself. For the first time in modern royal history, a senior royal didn't just distance themselves, he completely disowned a former family member right out in the open for the entire world to see, and it didn't stop there. Things got even colder. The statement went on, Her Grace's current activities, travels, and affiliations are not coordinated with nor endorsed by the royal household. The United Kingdom's diplomatic channels remain governed by Her Majesty's government and respective consular authorities, not by spousal entitlement or media status. Those last lines, brutal. Words like spousal entitlement and media status might sound formal, but everyone knew exactly what they meant. They were daggers dipped in diplomacy. William was drawing a clear line in royal gold. Meghan's marriage to Harry means nothing here. Her Hollywood fame, useless. Her Duchess title, dead weight. So what went down in Dubai that sparked this international royal freeze-out? How did one of the richest, most image-obsessed cities on Earth end up slamming its golden gates shut on Meghan Markle? Something big clearly went wrong. And it wasn't just bad timing. So what exactly triggered this shocking royal rejection? What really went down at Dubai airport? According to high-level UAE border insiders and diplomatic observers, Meghan didn't roll in quietly at all. She arrived in Dubai on a commercial first-class flight, expecting, as sources close to her team say, a soft landing, VIP-style handling, no questions asked, and a perfectly polished start to a major luxury partnership tied to golf brands and elite sponsors. She came dressed to impress, designer outfit, flawless glam, and a small but prepped entourage that had one clear order: stay silent and stay classy. Everything was set for a low-key, high-stakes business trip that would keep her brand shiny and scandal-free. But that smooth entry she planned, it evaporated fast. The moment she stepped through immigration, things took an unexpected turn. UAE officers pulled her aside for what they described as routine questions, then directed her into a private room for a standard review. Her passport was briefly held, no yelling, no rough handling, But the tension in that room was unmistakable. The message was clear and cold. You are not welcome here at this time. Within the hour, Meghan was quietly escorted back through the terminal and placed on the next flight out. No arrest, no official statement, and definitely no red carpet exit. The UAE authorities never explained why, and under Article 11 of the UAE Federal Law on Entry and Residence, they don't have to. Border control there has full power to deny entry without giving a single reason or offering any appeal. But here's where things really explode. Meghan didn't go down quietly. Multiple insiders claim that as she was being escorted out, she tried to invoke royal diplomatic privilege. That's right. She allegedly dropped her royal ties at the border, hoping they'd open the gates. But this time, those royal connections didn't just fail her, they backfired. Can you believe the nerve of that move? This is the same woman who sat in front of Oprah telling the world how cold and unsupportive the royal family was. The same one who said she was silenced, controlled, and left unprotected. Who packed up and fled the UK for freedom and independence. And now, suddenly, when things blow up in Dubai, she's dialing the palace for help? The irony is unbelievable. According to insiders within the UAE's Foreign Affairs Network, Meghan didn't just ask politely, she made her case to border officials like she was still royal property. She reportedly argued that she deserved diplomatic consideration for 3 reasons. First, she's still legally married to Prince Harry, a member of the royal bloodline. Second, she's the mother of 2 children recognized as prince and princess under Queen Elizabeth II's legacy decrees. And third, she was apparently on a strict schedule to return to California for Archie and Lilibet's spring semester registration. Now that last point, that's where things get real interesting. Because sources claim those school registrations have previously been tied to jurisdictional questions involving California's Child Protective Services. Why would school enrollment ever trigger something like that? What's really been going on behind those tightly guarded Montecito gates? It's a question that's got people whispering and fast. But back to Dubai, Meghan's appeal didn't just vanish into paperwork. It was reportedly forwarded straight to the royal household for official verification. And that's when the palace dropped the hammer. Buckingham Palace didn't send a soft, "we'll look into it," or a diplomatic brush-off. No. They sent a direct, icy rejection. The message was sharp, simple, and final. She was on her own. Now let's break this down, because what just happened was massive. The palace's answer wasn't a maybe, not even a soft, "we'll check with the consulate." It was a flat-out no. Prince William's follow-up message to UAE officials was even sharper, almost surgical in tone. He reportedly said, "The matter of Meghan Markle's current travels is one for the appropriate consular authorities. We will not intervene." Can you believe that? The future King of England basically told a foreign government, "She's not our problem anymore." No protection, no cover, no backup. Meghan was officially on her own. And just when everyone thought the royal response couldn't get colder, Princess Anne stepped in and delivered the final blow. If William's words slammed the royal door shut, Anne's statement was the sound of every lock clicking into place. Hours after his declaration, the Princess Royal, the family's no-nonsense enforcer, famous for her zero-tolerance attitude, dropped her own message straight to Commonwealth officials and diplomatic partners. It read, "It must be understood that Meghan Markle and her husband do not act on behalf of the Crown, the monarchy, nor the United Kingdom. Any associations drawn between their actions and the institution are purely speculative and legally unsubstantiated." Brutal! But she didn't stop there. She doubled down, warning against any use of royal titles for business, product promotions, media ventures, or international dealings that even hinted at royal ties. That wasn't just a polite clarification, that was a preemptive strike. A royal warning shot fired across every border, making it clear Meghan's royal privileges were done, dusted, and dead. The message to the world? She's not speaking for the crown, she's selling for herself. And here's the real twist. This Dubai disaster isn't just some random scandal. It's the public eruption of something that's been cracking behind the scenes for months. The Montecito dream life? It's starting to look more like a collapsing empire, one built on glamour, influence, and connections that are suddenly slipping away. Now here's what Meghan really doesn't want the world to know. The eviction.
Overnight, a spokesperson for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle saying the couple is being kicked out of their Windsor home, telling NBC News the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have been requested to vacate their residence.
Sources close to the owners of Meghan and Harry's Montecito mansion finally confirmed the whispers that had been circling for months. The couple didn't leave their luxury home by choice. They were forced out. After several delayed rent payments, alleged unapproved renovations to the property, and a fiery dispute over unpaid back taxes, things hit the breaking point. On January 14th, 2026, the royal exiles were officially removed from the estate. A quiet court filing buried in Santa Barbara County records tells the story clearly. The final legal note reads, "Non-renewal of private lease due to conflict with contractual use." Translation? The landlord had enough. The eviction was done swiftly, silently, and with zero fanfare. A far cry from the Hollywood sparkle and Oprah-era glamour that once surrounded their Montecito life. But that's just the start, because their business empire was crumbling too. Let's talk about the Spotify split. The couple's once hyped $25 million deal, celebrated as a fresh start for their independent voices, collapsed by the end of 2025. The reason? Simple: low output, poor engagement, and constant creative control drama. In total, they delivered one underperforming podcast season. That's it, one season from a $25 million contract. Even Spotify executives couldn't spin that into success. Then came the Netflix meltdown. What was once a $100 million mega deal promising documentaries, features, and global projects has now shrunk into a loose holding agreement. Netflix insiders say the company grew tired of low viewership, behind-the-scenes tension, and the growing brand risk that came with the Sussex name. By January 2026, the streaming giant quietly let their development contract expire. No renewal, no new shows, no second chances. In plain terms, the golden goose stopped laying and Netflix stopped pretending to care. What used to be a billion-dollar royal fantasy is now unraveling fast. Deals collapsing, doors closing, and the once glamorous Montecito dream turning into a full-blown PR nightmare. Now let's dig into the Arch investigation, the scandal that's shaking the very foundation of Meghan's post-royal empire. The Arch Foundation, once the shining symbol of her global ambitions, is now under dual investigation in both the US and the UK. Authorities are reportedly probing allegations of misused funds, inaccurate tax filings, and even improper employee severance deals. Former staff members aren't staying quiet either. Several ex-employees have filed civil lawsuits claiming wrongful termination and unpaid compensation. But that's not all. U.S. federal investigators are also looking into false representations in partnership contracts linked to Meghan's commercial wellness ventures. See the pattern here? This isn't bad luck or messy management. This looks like a chain reaction of collapse. Every venture Meghan has touched since stepping away from the royal family seems to be falling apart, one scandal after another. And then comes the Tyler Perry betrayal, the twist nobody saw coming. Remember, this is the same Tyler Perry who opened his $18 million Beverly Hills mansion to Meghan and Harry when they first fled the UK. He gave them a home, protection, and support when the world turned its back. But now, Perry has reportedly filed claims saying he was manipulated into transferring money under false pretenses. That's right. The man who once called them family is now accusing them of deception. Just think about that for a second. What does it take to lose someone that loyal? How bad do things have to get for a friend that generous? One who literally gave them shelter to turn into a legal rival? The fallout is brutal and it's only getting worse. And now, as Dubai's decision grabs global headlines, insiders are pointing to what's being called the 4-point risk assessment, the behind-the-scenes reasoning that explains why UAE officials refused Meghan entry. Under Emirati immigration law, border officers have full discretion to deny access, but make no mistake, this wasn't random. Something big was behind that no entry stamp. According to multiple UAE government advisors who spoke off the record, Dubai's immigration team didn't just make a random call. They followed a strict 4-point risk assessment before deciding to deny Meghan entry. And the shocking part? She checked every single box. The first risk factor was tied to ongoing legal investigations. Meghan is currently under active scrutiny in both the US and the UK over improper charitable reporting through the Archewell Foundation, including alleged misrepresentation of donations and disputed money transfers involving Tyler Perry and other wealthy donors. Thanks to international tax treaties, even the appearance of financial irregularities can automatically flag a traveler for entry denial. No criminal charges required. The second risk factor was all about public image volatility. Meghan's global reputation as a media powerhouse, or as some call her, a media disruptor, worked against her this time. Officials cited her history of orchestrating major press spectacles, shifting timelines to control narratives, and what internal reports described as victim-centered PR manipulation, especially referencing her high-profile miscarriage story and the explosive Oprah interview. One Gulf media advisor summed it up perfectly. This isn't about her truth, it's about our stability. And then came the third risk factor, employer and staff conflicts. Former Archewell employees have reportedly testified about abrupt firings, unpaid severance, and chaotic work conditions that allegedly came straight from Meghan's own leadership style. Those testimonies painted a picture of a toxic workplace full of pressure and inconsistency. Now here's where it gets serious. The UAE is built on values of honor, hierarchy, and trust. Leadership there isn't just about status. It's about integrity and respect. And when Emirati officials saw a pattern that clashed with their social and professional norms, the response was automatic. Entry denied. Meghan's reputation wasn't just questioned, it was deemed a risk. And then came the fourth and final risk factor, the one that sealed Meghan's fate completely. UAE immigration cited improper entry justification. According to officials, Meghan didn't apply under the correct media or business visa categories and failed to disclose her planned meetings with high-end luxury brand reps and digital production crews. Insiders say she was quietly prepping soft launch footage for an upcoming project, but on paper, she claimed her visit was for personal family planning. For Emirati authorities, that looked like a deliberate misrepresentation. And here's where things get even more explosive: the palace warning. According to a senior Gulf advisor with close royal connections, UAE officials had already received private alerts from British diplomatic channels before Meghan even touched down. Buckingham Palace didn't outright say, deny her entry, but they made their position unmistakably clear. No royal support, no diplomatic cover, no endorsement whatsoever. That quiet message from London was enough to send a chill through the Emirati government. One advisor summed it up perfectly. If her own family won't stand by her, why should we? Those words echoed through every level of the UAE's diplomatic hierarchy, and it didn't stop there. Internal memos later revealed that palace representatives had been in contact with the UAE's Ministry of Foreign Affairs as early as February 2nd, 2 full days before Meghan's arrival. The communication, reportedly signed off by Prince William himself, made one thing absolutely clear: Meghan should not be treated as a diplomatic figure in any way, regardless of her royal title or surname. William, who's been stepping up as a quasi-minister for global royal relations during King Charles's ongoing health issues, personally approved the wording of the document. The memo reportedly stated, "The royal household formally distances itself from the private actions and intentions of the Duchess of Sussex. Her activities are not aligned with Crown objectives." In plain English, the palace didn't just refuse to help Meghan, they preemptively blocked her path. They made sure every diplomatic door in Dubai was slammed shut before she even landed. It was a royal scorched earth move, one that left Meghan completely isolated and exposed, with not a single ally in sight.
This woman's going to keep trying to get elevated with the next man because that's what she wants, because, Harry at this point doesn't even have enough money for her.
Harry, according to those closest to him, is deeply shaken by how far things have spiraled. Friends say he's terrified that his children are growing up in the same kind of media chaos that haunted his own childhood. Except this time, there's no palace, no protocol, no protection. He's reportedly told confidants that he fears Archie and Lilibet will one day resent him. Not just for the constant spotlight, but for the life he's built around it. The opportunities he's shut off, the family ties he's burned, the bridges that can never be rebuilt, it's all weighing heavily on him. Meanwhile, Meghan seems to be seeing their children through an entirely different lens, one that's more strategic than sentimental. Insiders claim she's begun treating Archie and Lilibet as central figures in her brand, not just as her kids. One former staffer even described overhearing conversations about which photos of the children would draw the most engagement, which milestones could be marketed, and how their royal titles might open future business doors. If those accounts are true, they point to something unsettling. A kind of transactional motherhood where image management outweighs privacy and publicity edges out protection. It paints a picture of two parents pulling in completely opposite directions, one desperate to shield his kids from fame, the other seemingly trying to shape it. And beyond the financial chaos, the lawsuits, and the diplomatic storms, there's a deeper human tragedy unfolding: isolation. Meghan Markle is now more cut off than she's ever been. More than when she left the palace, more than during the tabloid wars, more than at any time since she married into royalty. Her once glittering circle of Hollywood friends has faded away. Her family ties remain shattered beyond any sign of healing. The professional connections that once fueled her brand have evaporated. And now, even the international elite who once saw her as a bold, modern trailblazer have turned their backs. What's left is a woman surrounded by silence, a name that once commanded global fascination, now met with diplomatic distance and media fatigue. Meghan isn't just losing influence, she's losing allies. This saga isn't just about Dubai, it's about a pattern of behavior that's finally caught up with Meghan. You can only shout injustice so many times before people stop listening. You can only play the victim for so long before the world starts wondering if maybe, just maybe, you're not the victim at all. You can only turn sympathy into a business model for so long before everyone starts seeing through the act. And now that moment has arrived. The curtain's been pulled back and the audience isn't applauding anymore. The true heartbreak in all this? Harry. He's become the unintended casualty, collateral damage in a story that swallowed his identity whole. For years, his pain was real, his grievances valid, the trauma of losing his mother, the pressure of royal life, the mental health battles he openly shared. But somewhere along the way, all that truth got hijacked. His story, once raw and personal, has been twisted into content. Now, Harry isn't the voice of his own struggle. He's a character in someone else's brand, and it's dawning on him far too late that he's lost control of his own narrative. The authenticity that once drew people to him has been repackaged, polished, and weaponized, leaving him stranded between who he was and who he's been turned into. And what's left behind? A cautionary tale. A story of wild ambition unanchored by loyalty, fame without foundation, power without principle. One former media strategist who once worked closely with Meghan summed it up perfectly, with brutal clarity. Meghan thought the world would chase her when she left the palace. Instead, the world watched and then walked away. She wanted to be a global icon on her own terms. She wanted the glamour of royalty without the rules, the power of the platform without the price of duty. But the reality is finally hitting hard. In life, and especially in royalty, you can't have it both ways. You can't tear down an institution for years and then expect it to save you when the tide turns. You can't burn bridges and assume they'll magically rebuild themselves when you're desperate to cross back over. Dubai wasn't just another bad headline, it was a verdict. And that verdict rang loud and clear. Meghan Markle is on her own now. Completely, irreversibly, permanently. This moment marks the point of no return. The palace has spoken, the world has watched, and the sympathy well has finally run dry. The woman who once commanded global fascination now faces silence from every side, no royal backing, no Hollywood safety net, and no one left to spin the story her way. But the biggest question still hangs in the air. What about Harry? Will he stay locked in that isolation with her, standing by her side even as the walls close in? Or will this latest humiliation finally shake him awake? Maybe he'll see that the freedom he thought he was fighting for has slowly turned into the very cage he can't escape. Only time will tell whether he finds the courage to walk out of the storm or whether he'll stay there, drenched and shivering, trying to convince himself this is the life he chose. So what do you think happens next? Can Meghan bounce back from this spectacular crash? Will Harry finally break free? Or are we just watching the beginning of an even darker chapter in their story? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and let us know what you think, because trust me, this royal roller coaster is far from over.